get the bedrooms wired in, just because I gotta pull the line, draw a new one. These ones are a little bit trickier than the rest of the circuit, so I'm gonna get that done now. Welcome back, everyone, to another day. It's a beautiful day. It's a little bit cooler today. So I decided, and I also got here with a bit of time. Most of the time I got here pretty late in the evening, but I got here early enough today. So I decided to start a fire and clear out some of the leftover brush and some of the wood that was left out in the yard in the back and things like that. So as long as I got that fire going, I gotta continue supervising it. So I'm gonna keep going with some outdoor stuff for the meantime, and then we're gonna hop back inside later on. So for those of you who are new to the channel, this is By Grit and Grace. We're the family that bought a hoarder house and we're restoring it back to being a family home again. And we plan to move in when it's it might not even be done. We just want to move in as soon as we can. We're very excited, needless to say, and we've come a long way. So if you are new, be sure to check out some of our earlier episodes just to see exactly where this came from, because it has been quite the adventure in the approximately 3 months that we've been here. So yeah, let's get to it. So I got my little garden area in the back, and the main reason I wanted to do that is these are the ones that really have to go, because I have to clean up this whole area. But I wanted to save these irises. I know the bloom's gone, but they really are quite nice, especially in the spring. So there's 4 very healthy plants there. I know they got a little beat up, but they survive that quite well. You can trim these right back, they'll just spring right back up. And aside from that, I've also got these plants that have been hanging out beside the house. So what these are, they're just some plants that I really liked that I saved from our previous house. So they've been living in pots, and they're the few survivors. We didn't get into a place last year, and these plants aren't really meant to stay in pots forever. So they really have to get in the ground. I know they survived from last year, but there's not a whole lot of hope they'll survive another winter. So I'm going to get these in the ground. I can see many of them are already way overgrown their pot, and we're going to get those planted in where I know it's safe. And let's have a look at the garden plot, and we'll see what we're up to. So this is where we left off. I just got the fabric down for weed control, but it's just going to stay like that until I actually get around to it. This isn't any sort of a priority, but it was Sunday when I did it, and I don't really work on Sundays, so this is really more of a hobby to me, just something I enjoy doing. So I didn't mind doing that, but once again, it's not a priority. I'm not doing a whole lot with it. It just gives me somewhere safe to put my plants for now. And I was talking to Xana. We're not entirely sure what we're doing, but I was thinking I might do a little brick path through here, maybe have a nice little bench. We've got statues, so might put a little statue up here. So yeah, I mean, I'm open to ideas. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you think you'd lay it out. And of course, there is still a little bit of work. I see I see there's still a couple little stumps I left out there, but I'll take care of those down the road. The biggest thing is the weeds are under control, and I'll work with that when I get to it. This was really, really rough ground. It was packed in, definitely driven over, and so many roots. It was unbelievable, because it wasn't too long ago there were dozens of probably 1 to 2 inch saplings all the way through here, and we had Eric come by with the forester, and he just cleared it out, but that doesn't really take care of the roots underneath, not when you get a couple inches below the surface. So there's a lot of that to work with. That'll eventually go on its own, but we'll work with it for now. So let's get it done. Now the day's complete. All right, so we're back inside and picking up right where we left off. So the other day, I went ahead and made a mess. And all this stuff here, there was a bird that got stuck in the attic from the other day. I had all the doors open. So he was rummaging around, made a little bit of a mess. I didn't catch it on camera. I was more concerned with just getting him out because he kept bumping into the window right here, trying to get out, and I thought for sure he was dead. But I opened the door, and eventually he did find his way out, so there's that. I wanted to let him get out on his own. If I start chasing him around, I thought for sure he'd wind up back in the attic and just stay there. So he's out. So what I want to get done is finish up this circuit we were working on. So we got this light in and run, and this box is ready to go. We've got this box to finish up, and I may or may not have the information I need to get it completely done. But we're also going to have a fan come out of here on its own switch, and it's going to get installed in the ceiling up here. So I'm just going to run a wire for now, and the wire just goes directly to the fan, so I don't have to put any boxes in for anything like that. The only thing I'm waiting on to put the box in here is this line is now dead. I could just pull that out. And I have to pull this drywall here anyway. I got a bunch of work because I have to rearrange all this. The toilet is now going over here, and then we've got a vanity this side. So what I'm waiting on here is the dimensions for the vanity, how big we're making it. And centered off that is where our vanity light's going to be. And I'm probably going to have it taller than that one there, just because it'd be nice to get enough room for a decent sized mirror in here. And then obviously I got to replumb for the new vanity and for the toilet, so I'm just going to remove that. It'd be just as much work just because I got an awkward patch here as it is, so take that out. It'll also give me enough room to run a backer board in behind here, because I can't leave the drywall floppy like this. I have to slip. It doesn't have to go up and down continuous. It can be done in a couple of pieces, so it won't be that hard to slip in. But there has to be something solid for this to attach to. So I'm not sure. I probably won't be getting that today, but I'm going to run this electrical. The other thing I have to do is this line here. This line runs to this switch, which powers the light in the bedroom. So I want that on this circuit. And the other thing I definitely want on this circuit is in here, the other bedroom, we have this switch, which is run, this is a weird one actually. So this is run on the circuit alongside the passive heat fans that were up in the attic. And this is the only other thing that was on that circuit. So this is completely dead. I'm killing that entire circuit. So this I'm going to patch in with the circuit we're working on, and then of course this line here. So there's the light, and I'm probably going to swap these lines for a 14-3 because in both the bedrooms we're planning to do ceiling fans. Now when you get ceiling fans, if you've only got one wire running, you just wire the fan and the light together, and then you operate it from the fan. Well, I've got everything opened up. It's going to be convenient. What I can do is I'm going to run two lines. I'm going to run a 14-3, which means there's the red line. It's called the traveler line. And that's going to go up with it. And that's going to be the power supply for the fan. And that's going to go into the other switch. So that way you still run one line. And what you should be doing when you do that is you mark off the red line, you mark it off with blue tape, indicating it's the fan. Because when you put the fan in, the blue line coming out is always power for the fan. So marking it blue just helps you out when you're in the switch box and getting around to that. And the other one that's going to be fun is this one here. So I got a little bit of a mess here. There's not actually much on this circuit, so I think I'm going to leave the power supply alone. So this is power running in, and then outlets, the live outlets I have. So yeah, it looks like a dangerous mess. It's actually quite safe. There's, not anything going on with it. I got it properly insulated. It's just exposed, and obviously this isn't a kid-friendly place right now. So this one here, this is actually a dead line. And what I'm estimating, I had some assumptions I made. I had a little question mark on my tape because I couldn't figure it out. This was the original feed. It's cut inside the wall down here. I just found this by accident, and this was cut, obviously you could see, really, really rough. That was the previous homeowner, and that wire that was put in, I remember, I'm not sure if you remember, it was a 14.3 coming up from a junction box directly below here. It was all completely improper, but ripped that out. And it's weird because, you know, he ran that 14.3 with wire nuts or morettes on either side of the red line. So it must have been just whatever he had lying around. And I don't know why he even bothered securing that. So this one here, this is the exterior light. And then we have the, this is the light going up to the living room. And that line definitely has to be replaced. It is damaged. And then what I wanted to add over here is a light over the entryway. It's a really nice, convenient thing to have, and it's very easy to do, especially while everything's really exposed right now. So I'm going to get that in. That's all going to run off this circuit, because the only other things on this circuit are going to be 2 plugs here, and then we've got these 5 plugs. And the other thing about having all these plugs in here is they are not going to be in use at the same time, so it's really not a big deal. And I'm still going to be less than the limit for, you know, what I'm allowed to have on the single circuit. So now for this one here, this is going to be a ceiling fan. And you can let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. But here's my conundrum with the switch box. If I have the fan over here, that gives us 4 switches right there. I'm not fond of that. I don't like having too many switches in the same spot if it's completely unnecessary, because what that does is it just creates confusion, especially for people when they're visiting, you know, which switch am I hitting? And you don't want to have to label it. So in this case, it's in typically in order of operation. So if I have a foyer light, the foyer would be against this side, living room would be in the center, and then outside would be the furthest away from the door. So that's kind of a typical layout. If I add the fan in, it just adds a new element. So I'm thinking from here, I'm going to have that same 3-way line come up here, but because I'm going to do a 3-way switch. So I'm going to have a second switch somewhere over here by the dining room. But for the fan, I'm going to run another line out, and I'm thinking maybe over here or somewhere away from that switch box, I'm going to have a separate switch for the fan, and it's just going to belong to the living room, and there won't be any confusion. So with that, that's an awful lot I just went through, and I don't know how clear I was while I was explaining it, but I really should get back to it and see how much I can get done today. So I'm going to start off with the tougher jobs. I'm going to get the bedrooms wired in, just because I got to pull the line, draw a new one. These ones are a little bit trickier than the rest of the circuit, so I'm going to get that done now. Man, it got muggy all of a sudden. So I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna have a little bit of dinner, and when I get back, I'm gonna hop into the. Let me zoom out. Try that again. I'm gonna hop into the attic, and I'm gonna route all of these lines that I just loosened up. So I got them so I can pull them through the attic. I can get rid of all the dead lines. That's provided they don't have staples up close to the ceiling. They may, in which case I'm just going to cut them close and they'll be fine. They're not doing anything back there anyway. And I'm going to pull all the dead weight out and get the new lines run. So, yeah, I'll be back in a few. All right, so I ate, and now let's go on a little journey. We're going to do a bunch of up and down. It's going to be back and forth as we run these lines. It is a little bit tedious, but let's get it done anyway. All right, this first one's going to be easy. Just got to run down, grab a couple things. I'm going to turn the camera off for now. All right, so I came in and I noticed I only did this for a single gang box, so I'm going to make this 2 gang box. And then what I'm going to do, I got 2 rolls of wire here. And for 2 of these runs, these 2 here, I'm going to tape these and pull them up and then route them to where they're going. And then for the other one, I'm just going to pull it out, and the 14-3 line, one with 3 wires plus a ground, I'm just going to drop that down, and then I'm going to do the whole thing in the attic. I'm going to bring it over to the light box, and I'm going to do that all from the ceiling so I don't have to fish a line the same way for that one. So we'll get this done. Alright, so now I'm going to hop back up. I'm going to pull these through, but I'm going to do them one at a time. And I'm going to go up there with the drill. So I'm going to run them exactly to where they're going, and I'm going to mark the lines as I go. Because if I pull them both up right now, I won't know which one's which. So I'm going to pull one up, mark it after it gets to where it's going, and then I'm going to run the other one. Alright, so here goes number 1. Start with the busted line. Not too much resistance here. Oh, well, that line's snagged, so I'll have to do that one in reverse. Well, I guess that simplifies things. Just do this one. Oh no, I think they just drilled these holes too tight. I'm gonna have to do these the backwards way. That's all right. Oh, got it. See that? There's our end. That one was a success. So I'll start with that one, and I'll have to run fish tape down the other side for the other one. No big deal. Alright, so I got the staples up here, and I brought with me the fish tape. So I'll show you this. and that's how we're going to run the other line. So let's get this stapled in. Should be more than enough. Top down, get that attached, and cut off the other line. So this is the line that I was pulling up. So it's funny, this is where the staple was. When I was pulling the staple out, I must have damaged it bad enough. The insulation broke. This is actually empty line, so the copper pulled right out of it. That's my fault. I was being too rough when I took the staple out, so whatever. So I got it just like that, and I'm going to tape this end up. Hole's pretty small. Let's see. Oh, I think I lost it. Oh, it wasn't even here. I don't know what I was pulling on. Oh, got it. Alright. It's going to be the feed for the other side. Alright. So this is actually pretty easy. I could see it right there. And it's straight up right here. So I can drill that and send it right down. Let's set you up and we'll get that done. Alright, let's head down, see how that went. Alright, so here we are. And I pulled out lots, so just gonna do that. Mark it with a B and pull it through the ceiling for you and me. So, let's head back up. Now before I go down, I'm gonna grab my 14.3 and I'm gonna start running that. All right, so I'm about to go digging through some more insulation, so I got a fresh pair of gloves. Oh, looks like I grabbed extra. Keep that in my pocket in case it tears. That does happen, especially with the drill. It's hard to get these over sweaty hands. So this is 14.3, and I'm just gonna try and show you what that is exactly. I know I'm throwing these numbers around, but they actually mean something. So if you look in here, you'll see, I'm not sure how well you can see the color, but you'll see there's black, there's white, and then there's the bare copper wire, that's the ground, and then there's an additional wire here which is red. So that red means it's 3. So when we say 3 wires, we don't include the ground. So 14.2 has a black and a white wire. A 14.3 has black, white, and red, and they all have a ground with them. So that's what we mean. So the reason I'm running this additional wire once again is because we're going to be putting a fan in this room, and this wire is going to be taped up and marked as blue line, meaning fan. So that's what we're doing there. So I'm going to run this down, and from right up here I'm going to trace this line here to where it goes in to the light, and I'm going to remove this line and replace it with this one, and we'll be good to go. You've seen this process before, so I'm just going to hop down real quick, leave the camera right where it is, and pinch that line and come back up. Alright, so now we're going to take care of the other light. I drilled my hole big enough. Get another line through. Now, before I re-insulate this attic, one of the things I have to do is I have to foam up all of these holes, even the old ones. So that's part of insulating. So they're all pretty organized. I know where they are, so it's not a big deal, but I should probably take care of that sooner than later so I don't forget, because that does happen. So let's poke this through, pinch it down below, yada yada. Oh, let's get out of this attic. It's hot up here.